Hey everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. Today I want to talk about a British miniseries that came out late last year, adapted from Agatha Christie's novel And Then There Were None. And Then There Were None tells the story of 10 people who are mostly strangers to one another. They're all invited out to a mansion on a secluded island by a mysterious unknown person. On their first night, shortly after dinner, a recording is played which basically accuses each of them of a crime they've committed in their past. One by one, each of them are being mysteriously murdered in a fashion which is in accordance to a nursery rhyme that is displayed in each of their rooms. I don't really want to reveal too much more about the story either, because as the group is decreasing in size, the tension escalates like you wouldn't believe. And the closer we get down to like the last 5, the last 4, 3, the last 2, oh man, the tension in this story is like nothing you could ever imagine. So going back roughly a million years ago, I read the novel, which was originally titled 10 Little N-Words, and that of course was a little bit politically incorrect, so it was changed to 10 Little Indians. That of course was politically incorrect, so eventually it was changed to And Then There Were None, which is what it's called nowadays. So I read the book, and you know how sometimes when you get asked, what's your favorite book? And some people are like, yeah, well, that's totally not me. Anytime somebody asks me what my favorite book is, straight away, it's And Then There Were None. My love for this book actually goes so deep that I've collected several copies of it with different covers. I think I have about 5 in my collection. I'd love to show them off, but they're in storage at the moment, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I do, however, even have the hardcover comic book version of the story. Look at this! It's a comic book! Yay! And honestly, it's a great horror story. The thing I love the most about it, like I said, the tension in this story is you can really feel it in your bones, and it was so brilliantly written, and I always thought it would make such a great movie, and it was kind of a dream of mine as a filmmaker to actually make a decent version of it someday. There have been a few film versions throughout the years, but look, none of them ever really captured the essence of the book. So, you know, I kind of sat down and thought to myself, okay, this could go either way, but I am so happy to say I loved it. And if I could ever meet the filmmakers, I want to thank them all personally, individually. They did such a great job. And I am so glad that I have this little channel on YouTube that I can tell you people about this miniseries, because you need to see it so badly. Stop watching this thing and go watch it now. No, don't really. Keep watching this. The miniseries is divided into 3 episodes. Each goes for an hour. So essentially you're looking at a 3-hour movie, which, yeah, it's, you know, anyone can watch a 3-hour movie. Hey, Lord of the Rings, anyone? So I'll start with the things that I loved about this miniseries. The photography in it was stunning. There was a lot of shots that were really jaw-droppingly beautiful. Certain frames, they positioned the camera in a unique and different kind of a way, and coupled with the brilliant production design, the story is actually set in the 30s, and thankfully they retained that setting. There was, you know, sometimes there was talk about doing a movie version of it that was set in contemporary times, but, you know, that just wouldn't really work, being that everyone has cell phones and things. Honey, I'm stuck on an island and someone's trying to kill me. Can you come pick me up? Okay, thanks. Not only that, man, they really did a convincing job that it was set in the 30s. Things from old-fashioned cars to the costumes, everything, the set designs. I really have a lot of respect for period pieces like that, because let's face it, it's a lot more difficult to create something that was set in a time frame like that rather than just using things that we have now. So aside from the brilliant cinematography and production design, the one thing that they really needed in this to, you know, keep it true to the source material was the atmosphere, and this thing was rich with tension. From the moment that that recording is played, accusing everybody of the crime they've done in their past, it really had kind of a claustrophobic, trapped sensation, because, you know, all these people are stuck in this mansion on an island with no escape whatsoever. The performances from the entire cast were outstanding, particularly Maeve Dermody, who is an Australian actress. In the lead role as Vera Claythorne, she portrayed this tortured soul, this woman who has been through something that is eating at her soul the whole way through, and she did a really brilliant job of bringing that character to life. I mean, from a fan of the book's point of view, I thought she was absolutely perfect, but even if you've never read the book, I'm sure you'll appreciate what she did for this role. The directing in this miniseries was also absolutely top class. Not only the performances, as I said, which were exemplary, but there was a lot of really good use of foreshadowing. There was some cool things that you see early on in the story, which, I mean, if you've read the novel, you're going to be sort of sitting there thinking, hey, I know what that means, that's really cool. But if you haven't read the novel, by the time you get to the end of the story, you're going to be like, okay, that's what that meant. Cool. But one thing which was a surprise to me, and I'm actually very happy about, was that some of the changes from the original source material were actually really good. You know how you get that thing where there's a book that you love, they make a movie about it, and you're watching the movie and you're thinking to yourself, well, like, that never happened in the book, this movie sucks. Well, there were a couple of moments in the miniseries where there were some scenes that I was kind of like, hang on a second, I don't remember that. But they worked. There was one scene, and again, it's not spoiler material, when it comes down to the final four, there's one night where they all kind of get drunk and indulge in a little bit of debauchery, and at first I was thinking to myself, if you're in that situation and you're probably about to die, like, would you really be sort of in a reveling kind of mood? But then you see the looks on the characters' faces and you realize what is actually going on in their heads, and you kind of understand that they know that this could be their last night on this earth. And yeah, even though they're kind of having a bit of a good time, they're really not, and the pain on their faces showed that. I dug it. It was great. So naturally there were some things that I thought could have been done better, and the main one I think was the ending. Now, while they did stay mostly true to the original ending of the novel, they did change a few things, and it wasn't so much the fact that they changed some things. It was more of a case of something kind of happens that I thought was a little bit silly. Now, if you've seen it, or when you see it, it involves something to do with a chair. That's all I'm going to say. And I was kind of watching it, just defied logic in a way to me. So that I thought they could have done better. Having said that, being that they did stay so true to the original novel material, I really don't know why they couldn't have actually done the ending that was in the book. It actually would have made perfect sense and would have been totally plausible. But as it was close enough, so I kind of dug it. So the only other thing that I thought they could have improved upon was the emphasis on the nursery rhyme. Now, in the book, we're given the entire nursery rhyme at the start of the story, so because we know it, and it gives us, in a way, a chance to kind of guess how people are going to get bumped off. And it leads to a few surprises because there's a few twists here and there, taking dual meanings of words, that kind of stuff. Whereas in the miniseries, we only really learn certain lines, like after a murder is committed, they'll sort of recite the line from the nursery rhyme. But I would have liked a little bit more emphasis on that at the start of the story. But look, overall, if you like a really, really great story, if you're after a damn good thriller, borderline horror movie, if you like your mysteries, man, check this out. It is so, so good. And I'm not just saying it as a fan of the book, because I did manage to kind of detach myself from that aspect of my personality and give it an unbiased watch, and it was a well put together miniseries. So if you have any means of actually getting your hands on this, being it ordering the DVD online or maybe acquiring a digital version of it somehow, then yeah, seriously check this out. I am absolutely going to give And Then There Were None a 9 out of 10. So I hope you get a chance to check it out. Let me know what you thought of it. Hey, if you've read the book, let me know your thoughts on that as well. I'd really love to hear what you think. And pretty soon I'm going to have a bit of a different movie talk segment, because there's a lot of movies that I'm a big fan of from, say, the last few decades that I really want to tell everybody about, and maybe, there's some movies you've never heard of that are absolute gems. And I'll probably be getting the first review out of the way in, sometime over the next few days. I've already got a movie picked out that was a request. Woohoo! So keep your eyes out for that. And once again, thanks to everybody who's subscribed so far. If you like my channel and you want to keep up to date with all of my reviews, there will be a subscribe button at the end. So do the little clicky mouse thing on the subscribe button and you'll get a lot more of me talking to you through your screen. Yeah. Okay, that was a bit weird. Let me know what you think, because this is Movie Talk. I like to talk about movies, and I'd love to talk about movies with you. See you next time.
Yeah, hit subscribe. Do it now. Yeah.